Okay, yesterday, which was Friday the 13th, it's funny that I traded on that day because I'm usually really wiggy and woo woo and superstitious about these things. But I thought the setup on Tesla was incredible because there was such pull the last couple of days that I was like, Friday, something has got to happen. So, with that, I've got the daily chart up here right now, but what I want to show you is this little area right here. So I'm going to put it on hourly. And this is what I look at. I look at areas that have a lot of just price action. And then I watch for what happened after the price action. So this is the hourly chart. And I will look at it in the last, I'll look at it as far as a month sometimes to just see where the price action is. Because on the hourly, there's something about the hourly, and this is what Dan Shapiro taught me. There's something about the hourly that shows where the price action, where the supply and the demand really are. And there's a great image that's very simple for you to see, where the supply and demand are. Um, and if you've studied Dan's, I think it's a 4.5 hour free webinar, you can learn so much from that one 4.5 hour video class that he gives. Just really learn how to watch for the right price action. So, um, yesterday I was just super patient. There was some other things going on, you know, being a woman, all of that kind of stuff. And if you're a woman listening to this, I'm sure you appreciate that. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on my indicators. So let's start with the simplest. This is the 5-day moving average. And if it's above, it is bullish. If it is below, it is bearish. These are simple things. So what I'm going to show you is what I was actually looking at the open. Now I don't have I don't really like um, I like to see all of the price action without it being after hours or pre-market hours. I just like to see one flow of price action. So Thursday had the horrible sell-off. I didn't trade Thursday. So there was this nice consolidation in the afternoon and then overnight. And then, we see this, what I call accumulation, to where, people are buying up at higher and higher prices. And then finally you get rid of, some of the sellers and the buyers take over. Um, that's the way that I look at it. And sometimes I'm dyslexic and sometimes I get it backwards. But the kicker is when I'm looking at a chart, especially at the open, so I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. Make this a little bit bigger for everybody to see. What I'm trying to identify is, number one, where do I get in? So I only have a 2 chart setup, and I do that on purpose so I can actually see what is happening. So let me get some of this stuff off of here because I am going to reveal all of this, so don't worry. I'm not trying to hide anything from you guys. And I'm going to do the 5 minute. So I've got really I have 4 charts. I don't know if TradingView tells you this, but you can actually have this window on another. You can have 2 windows open. So that will give you multiple charts. You can have as many windows open as you want to. So on the 5 minutes, this was. Okay, so this was the open. So this was all this pre-mark hash back and forth. So right at the open, you just really there was no convincing trend. So I've got the hourly and I've got the 15 minute and I've got the 5 minute. And usually all I have is the 5 SMA on the 15 and the I'm sorry, the 5, the 15 and the hourly chart when I'm looking for something to get into. So lots of patience that I have to have, obviously. So here is here's the open, and just buyer, buyer, buyer. Selling down here, buying it up, selling down here, buying it up, and then finally we got rid of some of these sellers down here, and then finally on this candle, because I thought, Lord of mercy, I thought at this point on these three candles right here, I thought if this candle just slams all the way down into this price action, to the bottom of this price action um, window, I call it a price action window. It's just a replica of previous price action. But I thought we could actually do a little chop around down here and then the bottom could fall out. So, not anticipating anything, but just, sitting here and watching. And then all of a sudden, this strong candle, and you see that I don't have volume on here. I'm not caring about volume because I'm watching volume on the L2. And as soon as the next candle started above the 5 SMA is when I got in. And I probably should have waited till the top of the hour to the 10 a.m. candle to open, but I didn't. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But my goal was not my goal. My target was the is that what it was? My target was the 200 on the hourly. Is that right? Yeah. 50. Yeah. 50, 100, 200. Okay. So on the hourly, and you see that I have this white horizontal ray already marked. So as soon as I got in on the end of this candle, the last 5 minutes of this candle, all I wanted to do was to just touch the 420 area. So you see I have it set here at 420. And I think I just moved that around. So I'm going to X out of there. So that was all I wanted to do. So what happened was we had, I think the top of this candle is 419.20. I wasn't satisfied. I was like, it'll get to 420. I just need to be patient. And it's as soon as the second candle or the 11 a.m. candle open, this isn't scalping by any means, by the way. So here's the 9:55 candle. So I'm in on this candle. Now I'm over here on the 5 minute. And, just nice, beautiful stair stepping, making the flag. So I'm looking over here on the hourly. On this candle, I'm like, okay, I'm above 418. I am happy that 418.08 was significant just because of the pre-market price action. And then the second test of it. So we've got a 1 test, 2 test. It's usually on the 3rd test that it's going to break through. And sometimes it could be the 10th test. Who knows? But I was like, if it's not going to break through 420 or 418 right here, I might as well get out. But I was patient with this candle right here. That's a powerful candle, that hammer. And I'm still above, everything is closing above the 5 SMA, except for this candle right here. This one right here. And I was like, it's on it. I'm not extended. It's going to come back to median. So I'm like, is it? It's closing right on the 5 SMA. So let's be overly cautious and watch for the yank. And then, our my out is entry. So when you're trading options, and I got into the 420s, right here at 9:55. Where is it? Right here. So I got into the 420s at that point. small size because it's Friday. Um, I took one off at 418, and then I took another one off on this red candle right here. I waited until it closed. I took one more off, and then when it hit 420, I got out of my position. So I took three, um, $300 bet and made 156 57% on my money. So, not a bad day. 300 and or no, 475 in the kitty on a $300 bet. Um, Pretty proud of myself for just waiting so long, because usually I'm taking trades between 8 and I'm in Texas. Usually I'm taking trades at the 8:45. I never take a trade between 8:30 and 8:45. But usually I'm taking a trade between 8:45 and 8 and 9 o'clock. And there was just nothing going on. And I thought, well, if we could break down below my beautiful little purple window here, then we're going to go lower. But it never did. And I try to set up these windows right here to tell me where to stay bullish and where to be bearish, and just go with the trend. I'm not wanting to get in the middle of whatever that price action is, just because of historic price action. So let me go ahead and roll out. Let me make this one big one. Let me go ahead and roll out. This is actually getting a little long. Let me go ahead and roll out the rest of the setup. Now, this is not, in my opinion, it's not the PS60 setup. And I'll show you how I mark my charts for the price action. I've got the 50, 100, and 200 SMA. I've got the 921 EMA cross. It will actually give me an indicator there. I've got the 5. I've already shown you that. And I've got, what does that mean? Oh, and I've got the Bollinger Bands with the 20 SMA. So the 20 is the midpoint of the Bollinger Band. So let me show you what I use to mark my levels. I use the lagging span. I'm going to make that. Let's make it a pretty color. Ooh, I like that. There we go. So, and let's make it, there we go. That's perfect. Why that wasn't like that. Okay, so this is the lagging span. As you can see, this is why I had the 418 marked. So this was our pre-market action, the top of our pre-market action. And then the only reason that I had this one marked was because of the 200 on the hourly. It's the only reason I had that marked, because that's where price action goes. It goes from one indicator to the next. And so I'm not worried about how. Well, yeah, well, no, I'm really not worried about how or the why. I'm just concerned with what. What is the price doing? So my stop was going to be flat. When I get into these trades, I'm usually green, and I don't think, and not that I watch my P&L, but I don't think I was ever negative. Maybe a couple of bucks, couple, $3, $4 a contract. I don't think I was ever down more than 20 bucks. So, and what I also use is the attitude and the mindset. I'm either right or I am right out. And I don't really give it a lot of time to figure out what it wants to do, because I'm usually in when it has already figured out what it's doing. That's really the kicker. So on the daily, this is where I will set my levels for trading on Tuesday, because we're not trading Monday. It is a 3-day weekend. So here's the other thing. So when you go back and you look at the price action where the lagging span is, we are on the daily, we are bearish because the lagging span indicator is below previous price action. Now that doesn't mean that you can't take calls or puts, or it doesn't mean you can't buy calls. It just means that on the daily, we are in a bearish trend because lagging price action is below current price action. That is just what I see and what I look at. Now, you can see here that we had some consolidation moves right here, where the lagging span is inside of price action. You don't want to touch these trades with a 10-foot pole, because in this area and in this area, so I'm probably going to move here. I'll just do one right here. Make this a little bigger. I'm probably going to move this guy somewhere, and I need to do this on the hourly, but I'm going to move this guy probably somewhere in here going forward. That's all I'm going to do, but I'm not going to do it right now. Now here is, so let's get our ray. I love using rays. Now the blue lines are price action from, there we go. There's one. I'll mark this one because it's not in price action, and I've got the snappiness. I'll go back here. I've got the where it snaps to the bar. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, this is tedious. There we go. Of course, phone call. So you can just see that I've got my levels set because I believe in my setup. So that's really what I wanted to come across to you guys right now. Okay, now I had a phone call and I don't remember where I was. Okay, so on the hourly, so this is what I'm going to be looking at on Tuesday morning. Come on, there we go. I'm going to be looking at this right here on Tuesday morning. I'm probably going to set a ray here. I'll just do it now. And probably here. So what does this mean? Now this means if I wake up on Tuesday morning and we have similar price action, then I'm probably going to be bullish for a trade. I'm probably looking at calls if we're above this purple box, because this is the latest. This right here, this is the latest price action that I saw when we were going up, when we were going bullish. So many times, I think this is an indicator of we're going to get up into this area, and this is going to be another go, no go. So this is also going to be another no go area. If we get above 431, I'm sorry, 432, then I would take, I'm going to have these loaded. Let me get, I hate it when that does that. There we go. All right, so I'm going to have in the money calls. There's another one. Do you love how that does that? I'm going to have some in the money calls for this 432. Sorry. Let me move this. I think you need to be very particular about your levels. This 431, so we're going to make this 431.25 and set an alarm. Now we could wake up on Tuesday morning and price action could be through the roof because I don't know, Trump has forgiven I don't know everything. And usually something on a Saturday or a Sunday is going to